What's up? All right. What's happening?
Actually, I'm feeling a little queasy in my stomach.
Are you a little nervous?
You know, I actually had a bunch of oysters last night.
That's never good.
And I just talked to my wife, and she just said, I actually ate a bunch of raw oysters, right?
Right.
And I said, why didn't you eat any of those oysters? I just talked to her on the phone yesterday, and she was like, well, you get worms from raw oysters. And I was like, why didn't you tell me that when we were freaking... I like this.
I mean, I think I kind of knew that you could get something from.
I mean, they're really
oysters.
good.
That's why I don't like eating raw oysters. I have to have them a little steamed. Also, like, I don't really like shucking them. So my wife shucks them for me.
That's pretty bad.
She doesn't actually eat oysters either, so she only just shucks them for me. So I got it pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
No,
But so
I think it's all just mental. But anyway.
So do you need to take a break? And
no, I said I think she
hit the
just
facilities?
freaked me out about that. Like I'm gonna get worms. No, I'm good.
Well, good thing you're going on a race soon. But we'll talk about that.
True.
We'll add a little color to our logo here, and came up with a little sweet design. What do you think?
I think it's a good first draft. We'll see if it sticks. If we're learning the scoops.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets the point across of what this podcast is all about, right? It's about the people, business, not just our business, but business around Myrtle Beach and stories, right? It's kind of what we touched on a little bit earlier, but
I mean, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to bring in, cool stories about real estate, but about growth and what we got going on with it.
And the upswing of Myrtle Beach.
The growth of Myrtle Beach, where we're going for the next 20 years.
So what else we got going on? There was something that we wanted to talk about, which was the manufactured home that we had listed last week.
So under contract, you've again not sold a ton of manufactured, but this was something, all the stuff we sold, it's never happened before, right? So appraiser calls, said, hey, we need the HUD tag. I had no idea what the HUD tag was. And so we just jumped on, actually freaking chat GPT'd it with our seller, and come to find out that it's actually like a label, right? It's like a freaking, like a little mini license plate. So this is a double wide 1983 built.
Yeah.
And if you don't have, you got to find the freaking
right. And I think one is under the sink, right, in a cabinet. Okay, but this one was fully remodeled, so the cabinets were somewhere at a landfill somewhere in Horry County. So it wasn't going to be on that. Then there was another story that we read that maybe you could find it on a wall in one of the primary bedrooms, a closet. Well, again, all of this had been completely remodeled. This now was sheetrock. That wall's been gone for probably 15 years. So then we researched a little bit more, and it says, okay, it'll be on a beam at one end of the mobile home, where I guess the disconnect would have been, where they would have, I guess, what do they call it? Detitled it, tongued it, something, whatever. And it's kind of stamped or engraved into the beam.
So that's so basically, if we feel like we lost the HUD tag, then the next step is to find the serial number.
Right. And we're doing this because to get a loan on it, you have to have this number.
Our investor bought it in cash, did the renovation under contract, buyers getting conventional financing.
Right.
So I actually thought it was just FHA or VA financing, but it's actually conventional. It's for everything. So we connect with our lender, and I'm like, hey, is this legit? He's like, yes, you got to have that, or you got to find the serial number and you get a new one for it. So we're about crawling in the crawl space. And
right. So yeah, I think we talked about crawl spaces. Those are always a little scary, but this one also only has about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 inch clearance. Might be a little bit tight, a little snug for us. So we were thinking about little Angel in our office, possibly crawling under there. But then I
thought about my 8-year-old son.
Yeah, 8-year-old son. Yeah,
8-year-old son to crawl under there.
Right. You maybe have to pay him or whatever, but so we're still in the process of figuring it out. But we also feel like the tag is somewhere up front where it's been covered by, like, where they bricked the entire base of the home. So it could require a little bit of tearing up some brick, pulling out some wood just to try to get to that beam so we can actually see what the number is, correct?
Yeah.
So
it kind of currently stands as we did see there was a loan in 2007. So the buyer's trying to find out if his attorney can pull the title work back then. That's kind of our last ditch effort. If not, we may bust out the sledgehammers to find it.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how this ends up.
Yeah.
But let me know if I need to go out there with a sledgehammer and start getting to work. I won't be able to put it back together, but I could probably do some demo.
I'm not crawling in the crawl space either.
Angel might, so we'll see. So that'll be a fun one. Hopefully we get that finished. Today you had a little idea of kind of putting together a map of basically all of Horry County, of just kind of the progression that it's been going through over the years. We've talked about how, we've been here since 1998, 99, and we've seen the growth in Myrtle Beach, go from blinking yellow lights to now having all the big box stores and Costco's and Best Buys and all that good stuff. And so you were able to have Matt in our office put together kind of like Google Earth, right?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, this is what our whole concept's about, right? Like the growth, like everybody, all of our clients that come into town, they're always like, man, there's so much growth and development going on. And it was funny. I was actually listening to a national podcast, and the guy was talking about like looking for investment properties all around the country. And he was looking, and I hadn't heard this term before, but he said, you're always looking for, if something's in the path of progress, you're going to give it like a higher value, right? So for your future upside. So I'm like, path of progress, kind of a cool term. So it made me think about like, wow, like could we go and pull like an image or multiple images that show, how the area has been built out. And so it was Google Earth, right? So it's super cool Google Earth thing. It basically goes back to shows a snapshot of 1984, kind of like 501 corridors, like old Myrtle Beach, right? So 501 comes in, 17 business bypass down to the ocean, and it just overlays a bunch of basically, I guess it would be 30, 40 different years. 40 years.
Yeah.
From 84 to 2024, just showing like all that growth and development, all that kind of stuff. Sweet. I mean, it's pretty cool. We all knew it, right? But it was just to see it actually and then actually to see like how much more growth potential there is pretty bonkers.
Yeah. I mean, I think it takes us back to where we're from, right? We're from Northern Virginia, and we grew up, we were like probably the last small city or town outside of Washington, D.C. Off, 66, like 2 exits forward, it was 4 lanes, and then it went to 2 lanes where we lived. Well, now it's 6 lanes all the way out to where we live past our house, and the growth just keeps moving farther west out of DC, which I think is the same thing here, right? I think it's all going to be going towards Conway, out towards Aner, and then slowly working its way all the way to Florence and 95, right? I mean, it's only an hour from 95. So, I mean, someone can, buy 2 acres out, 50 minutes from the beach. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I know it's funny. It makes me think about like every time I travel to like whatever, Miami or New York or whatever, it blows my mind like how small our town is, right? And I think that's kind of the beauty of why we like it, even though we're talking about growth, which there's so much growth to go. But it's funny where you're always like, man, like, we think we have a lot of real estate to sell, which there is, but we're still super small town compared to the big growth that's out there overall. And again, that's one of the cool things I think we got here. It makes me think of actually one of my clients that said like the reason I love the area is it's small town feel, but like big town amenities. And like, listen, we don't have amenities like Miami or New York, but as far as, and the reason that makes sense is because our 400,000 population has got to accommodate the 16 million people that come here. So like we got restaurants that accommodate that many people in the work. So
yeah,
kind of rambling on a little bit, but basically just, again, like how we love living here because kind of that mix of doesn't feel like we're in a super crazy big city, but yeah, we got a lot of them.
Yeah. And I think we're, Brian lives in, right in the city of Myrtle Beach, and kind of like right in the center of everything, close to the airport, probably at the beach area. And I live more on the south end. We joke around, called the Burgess community, but no one really knows what that is. But it's basically in between Myrtle Beach and Myrtle's Inlet. It has a Myrtle Beach address. I love it more on the south end. I can be off 707. And it seems quieter. There's no tourists really on 707 that much, unless they're commuting from North Myrtle Beach to go to the inlet, to go to the restaurants and so forth. But that road had all been widened in the last 10 years from a 2-lane dirt road or whatever to 4-lane road. And there's tons of development off that. But I can be in North Myrtle Beach in 35 minutes, right? And there's ways around Myrtle Beach. I've always said this, is if you know your way around, you can always skip any of the traffic that there might be in and around town. And it's funny, a long time ago, I used to always say like, oh, how do you like the beach? How do you like living in Myrtle Beach? Isn't it like so busy? And I'm like, the crazy thing is when you move to the beach, I felt like everything slows down a little bit. Like I'm never really in a hurry. I don't know if it's because I guess I know that there's not going to be like crazy bad traffic, but if I know if I got to be somewhere at 9:00, I don't have to I'm not rushing to think that I'm going to sit in traffic for an hour or whatever. I don't know. I just I don't speed really anymore. I mean, I speed a little bit, but I don't need to speed. Like I'm not It's slow paced down here, right?
My joke with my brothers who still live in the Northern Virginia area and he's moved a little further out west was always like, I love calling him. I was going home and I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna call you. I'm heading home. And I'd be home in like 4 minutes. And he's like, you jackass, dude. Like, freaking, I'm like, yeah, that's my commute. And he's got to drive like an hour and a half in freaking Northern Virginia traffic.
Yeah. And I think that's why that's why more people are moving here, right? It's still a great place to move to and to live. And again,
I talk about the different areas too. So one of my friends lives in North Myrtle, hates Myrtle. He's like, I love North Myrtle. I'd never moved to Myrtle Beach. And so it's all back. It's kind of what you know, what you like. I mean, I guess if you didn't like where you lived, you'd freaking move somewhere else, right? So like you like South End, like Molly and I are like, hey, should we like, we live in this bubble, which basically is like from the Dunes Club to her gym to my freaking office to all the little shops and restaurants we go to are all like 3 minutes away. So that's all what you like.
But I mean,
we finding your different locations.
Yeah, we're driving Ocean Boulevard and 17 Business in the heart of Myrtle Beach every single day, and it's really not that bad. No. I guess we get used to it, and it's, we stay off. We're not driving the boulevard. It's not 1999 driving in my 67 Volkswagen Bug like we used to cruise the strip. But we don't do that anymore.
It's a good thing anymore.
That was a good time.
Your daughter's finding people like that these days.
My daughter, yes. We try to keep her away from Ocean Boulevard in Myrtle Beach, but that's a whole nother topic on a different day. 17-year-old girls are, in Myrtle Beach is the good thing is she loves the beach. She loves going to the beach. She basically lives at the beach all summer on the weekend. Goes to Garden City Beach. Yep.
That's what we say. It's funny, like for people, like for our clients that are here, right? And I always say this, it's like personal preference, like especially when people are looking at stuff for like a second home. It's like, there's no right or wrong answer. Like, do you want to be in the heart of the craziness, like in a good way or bad way, whatever you want? Or do you want to be more north or more south, or like Surfside Garden City, more beach houses, totally different, like quieter feel than the middle of kind of downtown. But it just depends on what you're looking for. Like I've had people that are coming from New York City or a busier area and they think downtown's like nothing, right? So it's just it's kind of what you want. But back to even like residential, where you live, there's so many different options based on what you want once you get to know the different areas and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that's why we like to have any clients that move into town or come into town to just stay for the weekend and just drive. Like we'll show you some houses in different pockets and about where you think you want to be and the type of homes, but ideally it's just about you driving around, getting used to the area and where the grocery stores are. And I mean, luckily now we have a grocery store every 2 miles, where it used to not be like that. It did used to be where it was, you'd have to drive 10 miles to get to the closest grocery store, but not anymore. All right. So shifting gears a little bit, the NFL schedule just came out.
This is what we really care about this week. Yeah.
Yes. So, we're Commanders fans, Redskins fans. Some people know that I was kind of born into being a Redskins fan. My father played for the Redskins for a long time, but we're from Northern Virginia, so it's kind of like what we grew up with. And
our team's good now.
Yeah, we have not been good since we were 13 years old, since the last time we went to the Super Bowl. So pretty much our entire adult life and some of our childhood, we've been terrible. And we finally got a good quarterback last year, and it was an incredible season.
Bad owner out.
There's a lot of work that went into trying to get rid of him. And luckily, Dan Snyder is no longer the owner of the Washington Commanders. He is living on a boat somewhere outside of England.
He's probably still doing all right, though.
Yeah, I think he's all right. Yeah. I mean, he sold the team for a little bit over $6 billion, but, taxes and had to pay off some stuff. He probably was only left with like $2.5 billion, but still.
But no, this is crazy. I saw something the other day that I forgot what it was, but like the NFL schedule release show rating wise, like beats like freaking like the finals for other like sports. The NFL's king. We love it, obviously.
Yeah. Did you have it on at all?
Because that was about oysters.
Oh yeah,
my brother from Virginia was swinging through. He had a daughter that graduated at Georgia Southern yesterday. His son's graduating from William and Mary. They literally stopped. His request was to have oysters, so I'm not usually having like midday oysters.
Maybe you should text him, but
see how those guys are. He had some raw ones too.
So the schedule came out. We have a pretty tough schedule. It's middle of the road. It's a little harder, definitely harder than it was last year. We're having to play the Kansas City Chiefs at Kansas City on a Sunday night. We have to play on Christmas Day, which actually I think is kind of cool. We get to play the Cowboys at home on Christmas Day, which normally those holidays like Thanksgiving, the Commanders, Redskins have always played at Dallas. We're also playing in Madrid, Spain.
Is that a home or away game for us?
It's an away game.
That's good.
Yeah.
So those teams get screwed with
right. They get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, but if it's one of your home games, like that stinks.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely stinks for the fans, but for the owners, I think it probably is okay because they're probably making even more money, especially if it's a team like the Jaguars have always played those, and they've always been dogs of team, but now they're hopefully a little bit better as well. So yeah, I mean, we have, I think on the schedule, it's like 5 or 6 that are actually primetime games, which isn't always the greatest as you get older. Like, I mean, you have to wait all day and then, you got to stay up late to kind of finish the game. And then you got to work day, next day. So it's kind of,
I go to bed like 9 o'clock. So that's tough.
Yeah. I do tease him sometimes when we come in the next morning to ask him if he saw the finish. And he always says, no.
Catch up in the morning.
But it's getting exciting. Maybe he'll watch a little bit more. And we'll see. So we'll see what happens. Should be exciting. Camp starts, in a month and a half or so, and rookies are already reported. So it's exciting times, and there's a lot to talk about. I listen to DC Sports Radio a lot, Sports Junkies, B. Mitch and Finley, and all that good stuff. So looking forward to the season. So you have a race this weekend?
I have a 12-hour race on Saturday that I'm leaving tomorrow morning for. It's in West Virginia.
Right.
So that's my gig. The adventure racing stuff. So we'll leave tomorrow morning. It's just doing it with one buddy, Cole, lender buddies. And so yeah, it starts with some whitewater, apparently some class 4 rapids rolling through there, which would be good. And then a mixture of bike and foot navigation, and you got 12 hours.
Have you done the rapids before?
Not there. I did one like a Tennessee. We did a race like this. It was a Tennessee one. Normally these races are like you're on flat water. So it's like you're in a canoe or, something like that. But this would be some wild stuff.
But in the rapids, you're actually like with a guided person, I guess, or something. Yeah, it's not just you two on a canoe or something.
So if you're on flat water, it's the two of you. So this is actually more like a fun component to it. Like we're not going to like be able to advance a whole lot faster past other teams. So I think it's probably like a 6-person boat. We're a 2-man team that we'll probably team up with some cats. And
yeah,
I think it starts with like a 5K foot section to the paddle, and then after that, then we'll navigate back to like the start and all that stuff.
Will you do any kayaking by yourselves or in this one?
So I think the 12-hour race is super short. Yeah. So it's.
So you say a 12-hour race is super short.
This is a short version.
Got it.
For the adventure racing world.
Yeah.
So 12 hours, 24 is probably a normal. I've done, a few 3-day ones.
So why do you, I mean, I kind of know why you do these, but I mean, tell everyone, like, what's your, like,
I mean, dude, it's a super disconnect. Like, right. Like my wife thinks I'm crazy for it, but it's just, it's crazy. It's the only thing about like work wise. It's literally like the only time of the year. And I do probably like 6 to 8 of these a year, but like, it's the only time of year when like you can't have your phone. Like really, it's actually illegal to have your phone because you have to navigate this all with a map. So at first, like the first like hour, you get like the whole weird, like where's my phone? And then literally, like I would say like an hour into these things, like you forget you have a job, you forget you have a freaking family. Like it's kind of wild stuff, like how the disconnect is. It's just, it's crazy. I look out for them, look forward to doing these suckers. And it drives me.
I know you do.
Workout wise and all that. So it's fun. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's exciting. Hopefully we get to see some pictures. It's always fun to hear the stories when you get back of what happened, and especially those 3-day ones where, somebody didn't even know who they were anymore.
Yeah, because they don't sleep.
Yeah, sleep deprived and all that good stuff.
But yeah, I'm doing that. Well, actually, I got something crazy going on Sunday morning, so we're gonna race all day Saturday at 8:30, and then drive home 7 or 8 hours. Probably not highly recommended, but we'll do that, and then back at home Sunday, and back in the office Monday, rocking and rolling.
So there's a 12-hour race back in the car, directly into the car, so you're not spending the night?
No, we got to drive.
Gotcha.
So I got some obligations early morning Sunday.
But how many races is this for you?
This year?
No, like just total. Like, is this?
We originally started doing like Spartans, right? Back in like 2015 or 16. My first adventure race was 2019. So 7 years of doing these things. So I don't know, probably 40, something like 40, 50.
So I've done a couple Spartan races. The first one I did with you, it went pretty well. I thought it did really well. I thought it was great.
That was a sprint or a super?
It was a super.
Okay.
It was a super. It was a long super. It ended up being like 8.5 miles or something. But my last one, I don't know why you're laughing so much, but it didn't end so well for me. I almost died. I slipped on a rock in a creek and landed flat on my back. And yeah, it just was not, knocked the wind out of me. Luckily I was a flat rock and that's all it did. But yeah, it was, I think my wife told me, my wife told me that I was retired from Spartan races or adventure races. We are going to be 45 next week. I'll be 45 on Friday. you'll be 45 the following Tuesday or Wednesday or something. So, I mean, yeah, 45, 45 and you're still doing adventure races. My days might be numbered in those, but we're going to work on it. You never know. Things change. So we'll see. My car just was messing up, my truck today. So I had to drop that off at the dealership. So it was funny. I was telling the guys, I was like, I guarantee, like my daughter's 17. She's got a small car, and just told her, hey, listen, I'm going to probably need your car tomorrow and for the weekend. And luckily she actually said, okay. She said she really didn't need it over the weekend. She had friends that she'd go with. And but normally I get a little kickback. It probably means she wants something. Pay her for that. She probably wants something. She's saying yes in hopes that, when she requests something to do tomorrow night or Saturday night, it's going to be hard for me to say no. So we'll see. It could be a follow-up for next week. She's pretty smart when it comes to those things, but 17-year-old daughters do kind of get whatever they want sometimes.
I'm not there yet, but
yeah.
But no, we're rock and roll. We got some good listings coming up next week and stuff as well. We got we're wrapping up fun Harley bike week in town.
Yep. Yeah, this will be the busy weekend. Definitely in Myrtle's Inlet. There was a lot more out on the streets today. A lot of them come in on Wednesdays, and they're here, Wednesday to Sunday. And then we'll have another bike week in a couple weeks over Memorial Day. And and then, the summer started.
Summertime.
With this bike week, and then Memorial Day weekend, coming up. Summer's here. Streets are going to be busy. Some traffic's going to start. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. Lots of days on the beach this summer. And so
let's get it going. We'll catch up next week.
Yep.